Stella said the square is indestructible, so that what he did to it, no matter how he manipulated it, whether it was with these monochromatic works or later with chromatic works, or sometimes doubling the squares happens even later, there is so much play you can get out of this simple geometric form. We're very excited to be offering Untitled Single Concentric Square this season. It's a masterful painting that dates from the early part of Stella's career. Stella had a really strong start when he came out of Princeton in the late 50s, moved to New York. He started right out of the gate with a series of paintings in the late 50s called the Black Paintings, and went on to do a series called Aluminum Paintings, Benjamin Moore paintings, and by 1962 had started these series of concentric squares. What's remarkable, though, is if he started the squares in 62, by 1970, the artist was recognized with a retrospective of his career at the Museum of Modern Art. So such a young artist who received such accolades and recognition so early. When Stella came to New York, of course, it was the height of Abstract Expressionism, and he would see artists like Franz Klein, who worked in a gestural mode, but used house paint, the kind of paint that Stella chose for this work and other of his early works, or Barnett Newman. Stella eschewed the kind of underlying principles of Abstract Expressionism, gesture, chromatic choice, and he went for something that really was a progenitor of minimalism. I wouldn't call him a minimalist, but what he did was lay out some of the principles that would really be essential to the ongoing practice of painting about painting. The interesting thing here is that the abstract expressionists, as I've said, were all about the hand, the transformation of form. And Stella is not a rigid minimalist in that you do see his hand. There is an element of humanity in this work that comes from, starting with the Black Paintings, the band between the colors of primed canvas that he leaves open. It brings him into the painting, so he pulls back as much as he can of chromatic decision, of subjectivity, of emotion, but still gives us a hint that the artist is there within the painting, behind the painting. For me, this is a painting where you are really drawn into it. You become part of the space, and that's important too for artists of this generation. This painting at 68 inches square is extremely large. Now, Stella has worked on this format in many, many different scales. A fantastic painting that opened the Whitney exhibition was a very large 12 by 12 canvas in this same kind of color palette. And I think this is the perfect size because it's completely manageable within the space of a domestic interior, but it's strong enough and large enough to have a kind of museum quality presence in any institution around the world. I think throughout Frank's career we have seen consistent invention, but yet each series is a bridge to the next one, and we see embodied within each group of works a foretelling of what's to come.